This week at Warner Bros. Movie World, the park is flooded with an exciting cast of DC superheroes and supervillains, exclusive entertainment and shows, character meet and greets, photo opportunities, food and drinks, and of course the iconic parade. Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Mr. YumYum, and in today's video I'll be visiting the DC Superheroes and Supervillains event, which takes place from the end of June and runs until the 20th of July. I'll break down the entire event, what my thoughts are on it, and ultimately if you should visit Warner Bros. Movie World to check out the DC Superheroes and Supervillains event. Before we start, I'd like to give a very special thank you to Team YumYum for supporting my content. Thank you so much.
Welcome to Heroes and Villains.
I'm always a big fan of the events here at Warner Bros. Movie World. I think they do a really good job at filling the park with lots of activities and entertainment that breathes new life into it, and it's always a blast to come and check them out. So I was very excited to come and visit the park to check out the Superheroes and Supervillains event. Even though I'm not the biggest DC fan, it's still really fun to come and see all the characters walking around and take some cool videos and cool photos. We arrived at the park at around 10 AM to try and get there in time for one of the new shows for this year, which features Black Canary, who's never appeared before at the DC Superheroes and Supervillains event. And this was a great start to the day. It was really cool to see something new for this event, and I'm not familiar with Black Canary's character, but she seems like a great addition. She's really a cool character. She's like a singer or something with some special powers, and I can see that she'll definitely appeal to lots of visitors. The show itself was really fun and had some music and singing, and the performer was fantastic. She did a really great job. It also featured Batgirl and some fighting sequences with some evil henchmen. Overall, just a really great addition, and I highly recommend checking out this show when you visit the park. So what other shows are there at the DC Superheroes and Supervillains event? Well, let's get into that first, and then we'll come back to what else you can do at the park during the event. Basically, all of the entertainment takes place on the main street, and many of the shows take place back to back, so you can basically spend the entire day here watching the shows, which is fantastic if you're a photographer or a videographer, or you just like to watch shows. And also many of the shows do take place multiple times throughout the day, so if you miss one of the performances, you can catch it at a later time. And that's also great if you want to get some other angles and more footage. So right after the Black Canary show, there was a Looney Tunes dance party, which was a fun interactive experience mainly targeted towards younger visitors, where the Looney Tunes come out and they show the audience how to do some dances before the floor opens up for guests to come in and dance with their favorite Looney Tunes characters. And I'm not the target audience for this, but it was still fun to watch the show and see all the other people having fun, and of course to film the awesome Looney Tunes characters. After this was the Good Citizens Awards show, which is a regular show that takes place at Movie World anyway, and this features the Joker, Harley Quinn, Batman and Robin. This is always really fun to see. The Joker and Harley Quinn are some of the most iconic characters at the park, as well as Batman, and everyone loves Robin as well. So it was really fun to watch this show again, and I always use it as an opportunity to kind of practice my camera work. We also saw the Riddler Show, which is always fun to watch as well. The Riddler and his gang come out and do a little dance, which is always very entertaining. The next show we saw was the Catwoman show, featuring the Penguin and his minions. And this is another fun show that usually takes place during this event, and it's fun to see Catwoman fighting these villains. Catwoman's such a cool character. I always love seeing her at the park, and I always feel a little bit intimidated because she's too cool. This is a fun show, and I definitely recommend this one as well. There's also a Wonder Woman show that takes place along the main street, where Wonder Woman comes out and fights some bank robbers. This one is a good show. I think they've changed it a little bit since last time. There was a bit more of a storyline, which was good to see. It can be tricky to film though, given that it sort of takes place along the entire main street area, so it's quite a long kind of space to film. So that's one tip you need to keep in mind. If you want to come and see these shows, you need to find a good spot, and that means looking at the schedule and knowing what's coming up at what time. There is definitely an element of planning, and that's where the Village Roadshow app comes in very handy, because you can see all the show times, as well as the ride queue times as well. There's also another Catwoman show which takes place further down the main street towards the Roxy Theatre, where some policemen catch Catwoman stealing jewelry, and this is a really cool show as well. Again, very difficult to find a good spot for it because it covers such a large space, so I definitely recommend being closer towards the Roxy Theatre, where you kind of can see all of the action. There's also a show featuring the Flash, Green Lantern, and Wonder Woman, where they fight some villains who have discovered some technology that drains superheroes' powers away. And this is a pretty elaborate show. It's very fun, lots of action, and a bit of humor as well. There's also a bit of entertainment that isn't listed on the app, which is a little bit strange. One of the extra shows that isn't listed is a Joker and Harley Quinn dance show, which is really fun. We didn't actually realize that this was going to be happening, so we didn't catch the beginning of the show, but we did manage to come and film some of it, and this is, again, another fun thing to check out. So what else is there to do at the DC Superheroes and Supervillains event? Well, the highlight would definitely have to be the character interactions and meet and greets and photo opportunities. There's so many characters walking around the park, from the heroes to the villains, and there's always someone around, so it's such a fun time if you're a photographer or you like to film things. And I just had such a blast walking around and meeting all the characters, and the performers here at Movie World are incredible. They're so good at what they do, at staying in character and making it entertaining, engaging, and inviting. I never felt uncomfortable or nervous speaking with the characters, which I did in the past. I kind of built myself up to actually meeting some of the characters, but I think they do a really good job at making it sort of a warm and hospitable environment to kind of chat and hang out and take a few pictures. A highlight for me was actually seeing the Joker and Harley Quinn, who I've always enjoyed seeing around the park, but I've sort of been nervous to go up and chat with them because it seems like they would have very outgoing, larger-than-life personalities. And that's their characters, I guess, but I feel like they did a really good job at making it feel a bit less intimidating, and I really enjoyed meeting these two characters, and the performers who play them did a fantastic job. There aren't too many food and drink options that are exclusive to the event. For lunch, we went to the Gotham City burger restaurant, and I tried out the Caped Crusader combo, which was a Batman-themed burger where there was a bit of cheese on the patty that was in the shape of Batman's symbol. And it's a pretty loosely themed item, I guess, but I enjoyed it enough. It was a tasty burger, and the chips had some cheesy sauce on it, which was a bit too intense for me, and I felt kind of spaced out afterwards. It also came with a drink, which was a good size, although it was served in a Wet n Wild cup, which I found a little bit strange. There's also a special drink option available, which is themed to Poison Ivy, that you can pick up at the Village Bean Cafe. And I didn't try this drink. I didn't really feel like having something overly sweet. There's also merchandise which has appeared alongside the event, some new Superman-themed merchandise to tie in with the new film coming out, and at the front of the park there's also some plush toys which are themed to the heroes and villains. Outside of that, there aren't really too many additions to the event. The park does kind of take on a visual transformation with lots of graffiti and bunting and things hanging around the place, which give it a little bit of character. The iconic fountain at the entrance to the park has been taken over by the Joker. This is a fun photo opportunity as well. Overall, the park was very busy, and the ride queue times were quite long. Most of the rides were open, except for Wild West Falls, which is down for maintenance, and of course Scooby-Doo Spooky Coaster, which is undergoing a refurbishment and should hopefully reopen by the end of the year. For the grand finale, the absolute highlight of the day that really caught me by surprise was the parade, which I've always been a huge fan of, but I think this year it was the absolute best it's ever been. It was extremely elaborate, and there was so much to look at and so much to film, and it had a storyline. Basically, there's a parade dedicated to the superheroes, but the Joker and some of the other villains have come up with an evil plan to sabotage it. This was so cool to see. It was really fun to have an actual storyline for the parade, and there was some fight sequences that took place in the middle of the parade. I do think that you need to find a good spot to watch this from. Definitely on the main street itself. You need to be somewhere where you can actually see what's going on. At the end of the street that we were at, it was mainly where the villains were, and down the other end near the Roxy Theatre was where the superheroes were. Batman comes out and does his iconic zipline down the main street moment, which is always a highlight. Overall, this was just a fantastic parade. It's, like I said, probably the best it's ever been. It was really fun to see some of the new characters, such as Black Canary, Lex Luthor, and Superman's dog, Crypto, which was adorable. And an absolute must if you're a DC fan or a photographer or a videographer. It's just a playground of fun for anyone who enjoys using cameras. So what are my final thoughts on the DC Superheroes and Supervillains event for 2025? Should you visit the park and come and check it out? I absolutely think you should definitely come and visit Movie World to check out this event. They've absolutely knocked it out of the park. I had such a blast during this event, and you can easily spend an entire day here. I didn't go on any rides today. I spent the whole day watching and filming the shows and taking videos, meeting the characters, and that was perfect. It was a full day of lots to do, and definitely you would get your money's worth if you were visiting from interstate or overseas. If you enjoyed this video, please feel free to leave a like, a friendly comment, or subscribe for more. And before we finish, I'd like to give a very special thank you to the members and sponsors of Team YumYum. A very special thank you to the Team YumYum members: Lee Donald, SWCV1, Randall, Maloney's Coasters, Carrie Jekin, Kai on the Internet, Audrey Allen, Oogie Boogie, Theme Park Ogre, Jordan Casey, Germ, Senpai's JP Blue Dog, Medic Brick, Movies Like Everyone, and Johnny Boy 175. And a very special thank you to the first ever Team YumYum sponsor, Koala75. Thank you so much to all the Team YumYum members and sponsors for your very kind and generous support, which really means a lot to me. I'm very grateful that you enjoy my content enough to support me in this way. And for anyone who would like to become a member or a sponsor, you're more than welcome to do so. This will give you access to new videos early. You also get a special shout out and thanks at the end of my videos, a YumYum sticker next to your username, some emojis to use in the comments, and last but not least, a special custom hand-drawn illustration by me to suit your very needs and requirements. And as an additional way to support the channel, I also have the Team YumYum sponsor option available for a slightly additional price. And as an extra perk, I'll animate your character doing a little dance as well, which will appear on screen. But if you're not in a position to support the channel by becoming a member or a sponsor, you can also leave a like, a friendly comment, or subscribe for more. Thank you so much again for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.